According to the Florida Chamber Foundation, Florida uses about 7 billion gallons of water each day, and by 2030, Florida's population will grow by an additional 5 million people. So combined, Florida's growing population, well, that'll likely require 9 billion gallons of water every day by 2030. Joining me is Philip Waller. He's Vice President with MWH Americas. Philip, welcome. Thanks for the time today.
Well, thank you for having me.
If I were to ask, I'm sure many Floridians wouldn't think there is a water problem in Florida. We receive 54 inches of rain a year, and we're conserving more fresh water. So, does Florida have a water problem?
Well, we have very wet and very dry seasons in Florida. Over 70% of our rainfall comes within just 3 summer months. So that means we have months where we receive little or no water. And our rainfall is what recharges or fills up our lakes, streams, and freshwater aquifers. And these are what supply our drinking water, as well as sustain the environment. So when there's little or no rain, it puts pressure on the environment and on our fresh drinking water sources. And as our population grows, it puts pressure on that balance between the environment and our drinking water supply.
So how do you start to address it? Where do you begin to attack that challenge of being predictable in a water supply that is, well, by nature, unpredictable?
Well, it's helpful to have a balanced water supply portfolio to meet this seasonal water needs and meet our growing population needs. And a balanced water portfolio would be a mix of surface water, fresh groundwater, and potentially brackish water or seawater desalination. And the surface water and desalination projects, they're more costly, and they require longer supply pipelines because the sources aren't typically near where the population centers are. So these typically requires regional partnerships, and I think regional partnerships are one of the keys to addressing our growing water need for the future.
Philip, I think a lot of businesses sort of look at water, and it's kind of like flipping a light switch. You turn on a faucet, the water's there. Why is it important for businesses to get engaged with the Florida Chamber to create a vision for Florida's future with regard to water policy?
Well, our quality of life in Florida is one of the big reasons that people continue to move here. And a big part of that quality of life is our environment. And water is an important part of sustaining our environment and our ecosystem in Florida. And as businesses, it's good for our business for people to move to Florida, and it helps us grow our businesses. And so having a good quality of life and adequate water supplies is important for our businesses to grow, and it's also important for the state to prosper.
As the Florida Chamber leads the business community's efforts on state water policy in Tallahassee and across Florida, what does it mean to Florida's competitiveness going forward in the area of development and growth?
Well, having cost-effective and reliable water supplies across the state is important to get companies to locate in Florida. It's one piece of a number of items, like our tax structure, and our quality of life that companies look at when they compare locating in Florida versus other states. But it's important that we have reliable water supplies so that we can meet the concurrency requirements that local governments require for houses to be built or for industries to build. So I think it's an important thing for the Florida Chamber to be involved in, and for our business community to be involved in.